So, guys, we talk about a lot of frivolous things on this show, and I thought that maybe tonight I could, we've been doing this for a long time, I could maybe open up a little bit to you, and we could talk about something a little more serious, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah,
Bring it.
absolutely. That's what we're here for.
I don't know how to describe it. Something just feels off with me. I think I'm not feeling comfortable in my own skin. And I'm not really sure like what to do about it. I don't really know if there's an element that I could maybe add, or if there's something I could change that make me feel more comfortable. But I think I'm just at my core just fully disgusted by this meat sack that binds me to this terrestrial earth, and I just don't want to be in it anymore. And I don't know what to do about that. You guys have any ideas?
HRT.
I've always been told DMT. I don't know what HRT is.
I don't really know what they are either.
Okay. DMT I've been told is the one that opens your mind and makes
No, HRT is feminine hormones.
Oh,
Hormone replacement therapy.
Gotcha.
That's what it is.
Okay, yeah. No, but no. I don't. That's the thing. It's not like I'm feeling like I'm the wrong gender, or that there's anything like wrong specifically. I just don't want to be in my flesh anymore. I don't know how to get out of it. Maybe I just want to live my best skeleton life.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Halloween season is almost upon us. It's time to get spooky.
It is, yeah.
Yes.
But you listener, thanks for joining us. Welcome to Strikes Our Fancy, the show where we talk about whatever the hell we feel like in a given week. This week, that's going to be body augmentation. I'm one of your hosts, though, Cantankerous Craig. Along with me this week, as usual, I have...
I am Robotic Rob.
Is body augmentation? I thought we were talking like tattoos.
But
you're talking
it
about
is.
like, okay.
There is a wide spectrum, and we're going to get to it, Caleb.
Okay. And this is a tramp stamp Caleb coming at you.
So yeah, in the realm of body augmentation, I think first we should define a little bit. I think we've done a poor job of that sometimes in previous episodes, defining the thing we're going to talk about.
But I like the audience to just get pushed in.
You'll
Yeah.
figure it out.
Well, that's the problem, though. How do we define it when we fundamentally don't know what we're talking about?
Yeah. Well, I came a little more prepared today. So if I might share with you guys, like a body augmentation to me is any change in a physical attribute of your body. To me, that could be a body augmentation. So that could be as basic as cutting your hair. That technically is a body augmentation, but it can go all the way up to tattoos, or even like prosthetics technically count as body augmentation, or I don't actually know that there's a word for it, but enhancements. Like I'm thinking of like Neuralink, where you can connect your brain to a computer, or like the contacts that you can get that essentially have little displays in them. So there's a very, very wide range of body augmentation.
Yeah. So just as basic as our glasses.
You beat me to it. That was before we got started. These guys mentioned, they're like, we don't know anything about body augmentation. I was like, but both of you actually do.
Yeah, I knew
You live
exactly. That's exactly where you were going.
Well, that's what I get for feeling clever.
Yep.
Rob's going to beat you to it every time.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, so technically, glasses count as it's one of the world's oldest body augmentations, because it is something you wear or use to enhance your natural characteristics or abilities, or change them in some way, or display a different or to put a different part of your body on display is also an element you can do with body augmentation. So with that very wide range, obviously both of you have glasses. I don't know that either of you before this have ever thought of them as body augmentation.
No.
Not really. No.
Yeah. I have a tattoo. That technically is body augmentation, and I plan to get more. I think I've fallen into that trap of kind of getting a little addicted to the idea of getting more tattoos once you start. But have either of you guys ever done anything like on a semi-permanent or permanent basis to your bodies to change them in any way?
I've had my wisdom teeth removed, and I have a few fillings.
Okay. Yeah. I still think I felt superhuman before my wisdom teeth got taken out.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I was just like, they're extra teeth. Like, I have more. I'm better than most people.
And then the dentist
And
bamboozled
then the
you.
fucking dentist came and took them from me. And I am no longer as wise.
Nah. I don't... Same similar mundane road as Rob, some fillings, my glasses. I don't think I don't know. No.
No? Okay,
That's it.
but that's fair.
Yeah.
Much beyond tattoos, I haven't really given it much thought. When I was a teenager, I thought like, yeah, having a robot arm would be cool or something.
Would you cut off your arm if like you could like get a cool, not like a actual like what they use today prosthetic, because those suck,
Mhm.
but like an actual robot arm that could give you super strength,
Like
No.
an arm that is at least just as good as your regular arm,
but better.
but better.
It better like turn into like a gun or something.
Maybe if it had like a cool ass arm blaster,
Yeah.
maybe. But if it was just an arm, even if it was just as good as a regular, like just as fluid and movement, but stronger, I wouldn't do that. Because if I wanted a stronger arm, I would just put an exosuit on.
Oh,
I mean, we're assuming that we
Yes.
have the ability to do all this.
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
But you'd rather have an exosuit that is external to yourself rather
Mhm.
than integrate something into you or replace something.
In this instance, I think so,
Sure.
yeah. Because, well, for one, once you cut off your arm, you can never get it back.
But you can get a better one.
But you don't know it's better.
There's a scene in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I thought was really cool. One of the main characters had his hand cut off, and it's a robot hand.
Mhm.
So he
Wait,
the rest.
it was already a robot hand when he got cut off?
No,
Oh.
no. Like he had his normal hand cut off, and they replaced it with the robot hand. Fairly realistic. That's how they got around it for budget.
Did he scream at his dad after it got cut off?
No!
But there was an episode, a few episodes after that, where an EMP went off, and his robot hand was stuck to the steering wheel because his hand was affected by the
Oh,
EMP. And I thought that was a cool, like that's a big weakness. I don't think
Mhm.
people would think about your arm just suddenly losing battery.
Right.
That is, I love the idea of tech-based enhancements. Like, I would never actually do it, but Neuralink, super cool idea. Different brain scanning technologies that are kind of coming out with the idea of interfacing your brain with technology. I love the idea, but I think of essentially our phones today and how little control I have over my
Right.
phone. And I would never give control of my body to a corporation. Or
I
my
would say-
brain.
Even if you could get like a Neuralink that's completely open, that you have full control over, just knowing how stupid computers are, like, I don't want that shit in my brain.
But, Rob, I would add today's sponsor to my brain, NordVPN. Keep your cerebrum safe this week with NordVPN.
If that were to happen, shit into our brains. Shit into our brains.
I think that's a different, that's going to be for the fetish episode, Caleb.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would there be like an influx of like advertisements?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. No, like the way network protocol is built is essentially to listen to everything that comes in and then filter out the bad. And hope that you can filter out the bad.
Mhm.
So
Like-
there's a chance I can find singles in my area
yeah.
with my eyeballs.
Absolutely.
And
I mean, you can
awesome.
already do that, Caleb. You can do that right now. You just need to go outside for a day.
I refuse.
But they're not lonely moms.
Exactly.
You know what? I bet some of them are.
I'll bet some of them are, but it's not being automatically filtered.
They don't have a flashing banner below them to let you know.
Why don't they? All right, maybe I will take this Neuralink thing.
I'm going to use that tangent. Something I was reading was there was a very minimal, like, little study that I read. I don't give it any, I don't want to even say the word study because I don't give it a lot of credence.
Mhm.
But apparently it has been shown that, like, people who wear, like, the Google Glass or, like, augmented glasses, individuals who are essentially in an interaction with someone wearing those feel inferior. Like, because they don't know, like, am I being recorded? Is that
Oh,
person actually paying attention to me? Are they just browsing the internet right now? Are they looking something up about me or what we're talking about so they can appear smarter? Like, it introduces this, like, uncertainty of how engaged are they or how are they engaging with me?
Mhm.
Which I found kind of interesting. Just like, that's true. Like, if I knew you guys on your glasses could be looking at something, I would assume you're never actually paying attention to what we're talking about.
That's assuming I'm paying attention now.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
That is a big stretch.
I'm just looking at the door.
I was gonna say, like, half of our interactions include me looking at my phone. So what's the difference?
The difference is I can tell when you're looking at your phone. I think that is the core difference. It's
Yeah.
like versus you just like if the glass was tinted or polarized in a way that I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't see that stuff was moving on your glasses, I wouldn't know what you're up to.
So you can still see when people are doing shit, right? On the Google Glass.
I mean, the Google Glass got canceled. It's not
Yeah.
a thing anymore.
Okay.
But the kind of the follow-up tech that I've seen, it varies. Some of it is genuinely transparent and you can like kind of tell when you're looking at someone that they're doing something. And some of it is kind of polarized and you don't really know what's going on in there.
Mm-hmm.
Rob had brought up to me, Star Trek has that. The LEDs on the glass and like how it wouldn't be super useful.
Well, yeah, it's not just Star Trek that does that. It's a lot of, since the 90s, that's been like how you show something is in the future is you have a pane of glass with information on it.
Mm.
That's not super useful. It could be polarized in a way, and I think like the Google Glasses have kind of figured that out, but it's not with the Google Glasses, it wasn't so much you weren't getting a lot of information. It was like a heads up display of like you have a new message and just little things like that. The Apple Vision Pro, whatever they're calling that thing.
It looks cool, and part of me is like, oh, I could maybe see myself using that, but I can't justify it.
That one will like darken so you can see things, but then it will also lighten up if someone's around you. So you kind of do get the best of both worlds in
Yeah.
that.
Nice.
It's like a VR headset with natural pass through, which is super cool.
Yeah. Can I look at somebody and see their stats? Shut up. Really?
Probably.
Oh.
There's an app for that. I mean, you can look at somebody and, I mean, if it doesn't already exist, it won't be long before there's a facial recognition app that pulls up their Instagram or whatever.
Caleb, do you want to live in a Black Mirror episode?
Was that a Black Mirror episode?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was
What
an
hasn't
implant.
been?
Yeah, it was an implant where like you could like you looked at someone and it gave you essentially their social profile, and then also like it also had a built-in like ranking system. Think Meow Meow Beans from Community. Like
yeah.
you could rank people, and like if you had a bad ranking, that affected your life.
Yeah. Okay.
It was essentially that episode,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
in Twilight Zone fashion.
Yeah.
But did Community do it better?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they leaned into what Runner. What is the name of that movie? Logan's Run, isn't it? I think it's a parody on Logan's Run. Is the aesthetic they go for in that Community episode?
I don't remember them being Logan's Run.
Isn't I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was what they were like when they go to like the sci-fi aesthetic. I thought they pulled that. Out of
Maybe it
Logan's
was.
Run.
I don't really remember that episode that well.
I've never seen it.
You never seen Logan's Run?
It's something I have not seen in a long time. I would love to watch it again.
It's surprisingly really good, except the end. It really falls apart. But when they fight the robot in the glacier, that's awesome.
I don't remember that in Community.
I don't want to get too deep into it. I could go on and on, but I don't want to. That's not what we're talking about today. But so we dabbled in it. Is there any for you guys? Is there any augmentation that you could see yourself wanting in the future? Assume, a reasonable progression of tech. Like, would you accept contact, or would you wear contacts that you could get a heads-up display, or would you link your brain to the internet, or would you swap out maybe a limb or a hand for something stronger?
I don't think I would do contacts.
Yeah.
I'm just not a huge fan of contacts.
Sure, but the
But-
other option is swap an eyeball, and I assumed you wouldn't want to go for that.
Probably not that.
Yeah.
But I would definitely I was excited for Google Glass.
Yeah?
Yeah, I thought that was cool as hell. And I would like glasses that have a display built into them.
So is it kind of like Iron Man where you're controlling it like with your hands, but you're not really touching anything, but you're kind of moving
I
shit
think
around,
you
but
just
it's
control
with
it
your
with your
glasses.
eyes.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay.
That's I think personally the main key that a lot of this tech is missing is there needs to be some sort of neural interface so that it becomes think it and it happens.
Mhm.
Like if it's ever move your hands to interact with the interface or move your eyes to interact with the interface, it's never going to feel natural and it's going to feel like effort. I think for some of these things, like it has to be seamless that you think it happens. And then suddenly I think we'll have a rush of people wanting it.
I don't know if that's true.
No?
No, I think if you could get
And
um,
let me just clarify for a moment. I'm not even saying like a Neuralink level, like integrate with
Right, right,
computers.
right.
Just like maybe a little thing you stick around your neck and
Mhm.
it keeps track of what your brainwaves are doing. And
I don't think you need to get that far with it.
okay,
I think you just need a breakthrough. I'm thinking like prior to the iPhone, there were all kinds of touchscreen interfaces for everything,
Mhm.
and everyone did it a little bit differently. But once Apple kind of figured it out, all touchscreen devices kind of operate in the same way now. Each vendor has their own little quirks, but we've become accustomed to swiping and pinching and scrolling and all the different gestures that we do now. I think,
and then all the stuff I do with my phone too.
yeah. And I think for an AR or visual interface, I think something like that could happen. We just need to figure out that design language.
Sure.
How possible is that?
Insanely possible. There's no reason.
I know like technology like Zoom already has like hand gesture recognition. Like if you turn it on and you make a gesture in Zoom, like you can program it to do certain things in the video call.
Yeah. The Xbox 360 Connect had like just crazy amounts of visual acuity, and it could tell what like 10 different people in the room were doing.
Mm.
And nothing ever really used it. It was, kind of experimental, but if we had that type of technology 10 years ago and we just didn't do anything with it, all we're waiting on now is someone to figure out what it looks like, how you use it.
Mm.
I, in hindsight, feel like the biggest fucking idiot. Because I thought like the Xbox Connect was gonna be a thing. Like I never actually got one myself, but I was like, but before it came out, I was like, this is gonna be incredible. This is gonna be a game changer. Imagine playing video games without a controller. Like I thought it was gonna get to that level.
I feel like an idiot for the opposite reason.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I thought this is stupid. It's not gonna work, first of all. It's just a lame ass cash grab. And it turned out to be like a really cool thing that is super functional. Of course, it never really got used to its full potential, but like the technology in it and what it could do was incredible.
Yeah. It kind of sucks because I think in hindsight, it really fought against its target audience where it's like gamers are inherently lazy. Like you're not going to have them getting up and moving around a bunch just to play video games. It's the main reason I don't play my my VR nearly as much is because I'm like, do I really want to like plug in and run around my room for 30 minutes, or I could just sit my ass down in my chair and play pretty much the same game?
So the Kinect is probably as close as we'll get to like VR.
Oh
No.
That was 10 years ago. Like it's still moving forward. Who knows what the next iteration will look like?
That technology is in this room right now. Listener Craig has a I forget what the Steam one is.
The Valve Index.
Valve Index, thank you. And the cameras up here in the corners, those are basically Kinects.
Right.
But they are calibrated to only look for certain things.
They're not technically cameras. I'm doing big air quotes here.
Yeah.
But like they're constantly scanning the room.
Mm-hmm. If your glasses already have a camera in them, which most of the existing attempts have had a camera in them, and now we're seeing pretty much everything has an IR camera in it as well as an IR blaster. And that's basically the technology that the Xbox Kinect was. And our computational power has exploded.
Moore's Law, baby!
Yeah, not anymore.
No, it's not dead yet.
Not yet.
But we're getting close.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could do it. What we're waiting for is figuring out the language. Going back to what I said about the iPhone, all the technology of the iPhone was there probably at least 10 years before, but nobody had packaged it up and figured out, okay, these are how the gestures are going to work. And that was the big key, not the form factor or selling it to Apple people.
I don't know about you, Caleb, but I feel like what I'm hearing is that Rob is saying that the market is ready and ripe for the taking if we can come up with a great user interface for technology that already exists.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's the basic principle, isn't it?
That has been Apple's entire business plan since the 80s.
No, for the last 10 years, they have done jack all in terms of like new UI innovation.
No. They're getting things that Android phones had like 10 years ago. Like they're getting IR blasters now. They're getting NFC readers. They're getting satellite uplinks.
Yeah, this isn't new.
That's exactly what I'm saying,
Yeah,
Craig. Jeez.
But I'm also saying they're not like making a better interface for it either.
No, I know.
Like they're just like, that's what I'm saying.
They just repackaged stuff that existed 10 years ago.
Yeah. No, I feel like your initial point was that Apple created a UI that people loved, and that was their revolutionary thing, and then they've never really done it since.
Yeah, you're right there.
Yeah, okay, that's the point I'm getting at. Is that like the market is ready for the Apple of an augmented reality interface, and we just need to do what Meta couldn't with fucking, what was it, $500 billion? Obviously, it must be easy.
Clearly, yeah. They just didn't have the willpower.
The Meta thing, that just looked like the Weverse from Nintendo.
It was bad. It was really bad. And from what I have read about it, it really, like, that whole subset of Meta that was focused about the augmented and virtual reality, their like prime directive was make Zuckerberg happy. Like they weren't doing what they thought was best for the market, for the consumer, for what they thought would make an engaging experience.
Facebook not doing what's best for them.
They just wanted to do what, like, they were kind of told, like, just make Mark happy. We don't care. We have gone way off the reservation.
I was gonna make a joke, but then I thought it would be too obvious, and then you pointed at me.
I am not above that, Caleb. That is the kind of humor I bring. But I want to bring it back a little bit to body augmentation, and if I might, can I take it a little like serious for a moment? If you guys are down for it,
Sure.
some ethical ramifications that have been thrown out when it comes to body augmentation is, do you guys think that if it was possible to essentially replace a body part or enhance a body part using technology, would that stunt human ambition and drive to, like, rather than improve yourself, you're just like, well, I'll just buy a thing that does it for me?
We already don't have that technology, and people are very stunted in ambition as it is. It's not a lack of robot legs that's stopping me from becoming a great runner.
But what if you could buy a set of robot legs and suddenly be an Olympic runner? Would Olympic runners be like, well, then why the fuck am I doing this?
Maybe you would just have to, the Olympics would just be natural humans.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's racist, Rob.
To be
natural humans only.
To be in the Olympics, you already have to start training when you're like 5 years old.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
I would assume that we're not going to do body augmentation on children unless, they need it.
Rob apparently.
Caleb, legs and shit.
He's not for like replacing like war-torn ridden like refugees, like their limbs, like no prosthetics for you. Got to be 18.
Exactly. It's just wasteful, really. They're gonna grow out of it.
Yeah, you're gonna need a new one in 2 years.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't think that would really be a problem for like the Olympics or really sports in general.
You think they would just make sweeping rules, no augmentations of any kind? Like, if you're going to play this game, you got to play au natural.
Yeah, I think that unless there were some kind of augmentation that was so commonplace that pretty much everyone had it, and it didn't really affect the game that much.
That's a slippery slope to Gattaca, Rob.
Yeah, I know.
I think people would get more reckless.
Yeah?
I mean, if I could just go get a new part after fucking around somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
Yeah.
You know,
The
I mean-
end of safety glasses as we know it.
But you can't trust the Tailoxu eyes, Rob.
Mm.
Who knows what images they might put in your mind?
what is that?
That's from Dune.
Okay, I figured.
But that I hadn't even thought about it, Caleb. But what you just mentioned made me think of like, oh, but then the augmentation insurance agency would thrive. Like, you live a reckless life. Like, make sure you're insured to this level, and we'll replace your limbs.
But also, who says we could afford it at our
Yeah.
level?
I don't know, man. TVs were once seen as a crazy luxury.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, even like today's great prosthetics are ridiculously expensive.
Right, but that's because they're not really mass produced. They kind of have
That's
to be
fair.
made custom to every person.
I never thought that having a prosthetic was a bespoke experience.
No, it is.
That it's like it's a status symbol. If you really want to make an impact, you really want to show your status at a party, you should cut your leg off and get a prosthetic.
Yeah, come in with your running blades.
Yeah. Whoa. Man, so jealous.
Well, I was watching an interview with an amputee. I didn't realize that half of what a prosthetic does is keep their body balanced.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not just a useful tool, it's also to make sure their body doesn't fuck up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, it'd be weird to just lean onto the side.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
that.
have 3 extra pounds on this side,
Yeah.
not on this side.
So we've been talking a lot about like potential or sci-fi grade prosthetics. Something I saw when I was looking into this today was apparently something you can get today. It's called a third thumb. And it is exactly what it sounds like. It is a prosthetic that you kind of like, it's got a wrap around your wrist, but then it's a thumb that sticks off like past your pinky. And what initially when I thought it, I'm like, okay, that's a gimmick. Like, sure, maybe it like closes when you like move your wrist in a certain way. But no. Apparently, it has a wireless transceiver that you put on your ankle, and it connects into your shoe or your foot somehow. And so that thumb that's sticking off your hand is connected to the convulsions of your toes. So you can, using a separate muscle, control when that thumb contracts.
That would be weird if you got really used to that.
And they're actually actively doing studies. It's less about like how useful this thumb is, and it's more like what can the body get used to if given enough exposure to it.
I fully feel that they would get used to that, and then it would be weird when you took it off.
Yeah.
You think there'd be like a phantom limb sensation
I
after
think
they
so,
got rid of
yeah.
it? Yeah.
I bet you'd start grabbing stuff and like squeeze your toes, and then nothing happens. And you're like, shit, forgot my thumb's off. Damn it.
I left my thumb at
God,
home.
where did I put that? Always leaving my thumbs up people's asses.
Carrie, where's my thumb?
Yeah. I told you could only use it on Saturdays. Rest of the week, that's for me.
In the same vein of not futuristic body modifications, people sometimes get like little magnets in their fingertips. Then that's kind of a cool idea.
There is a part of me that wants to do that.
Yeah.
With there's a name for it. I don't know it offhand, but or on hand or in hand. But because Caleb, are you familiar with this?
Yeah, you're looking a little
No,
disgusted
no.
over there.
Yeah.
This is weird.
So people put little neodymium magnets like in their fingertips under the skin, and then they can essentially feel electromagnetic fields. Like if they walk near or around like power lines or underground power lines, they can literally like put their hand out and be like, "Oh, I feel it," because the magnets will move a little bit in their finger, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, I can tell something's here."
So what's the point?
That's cool.
Party trick.
Yeah, right.
All
It
right,
doesn't
all
really have any practical use.
Well, I wouldn't say that, because there are plenty of times where I don't know if you've ever done much work on a car, but like where you're just reaching for something, you drop it, you just can't get it.
You want to do this for picking up screws?
Yeah. I was just saying that's a use.
Sure,
It's
you're
potential
right.
use.
Well, also, I got these big sausage fingers, and to have that with those little tiny screws, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm thinking of the guys like when you do like construction work or like remodeling work on your ground, the guys that come out and like scan your earth for like
Mhm.
internet lines and power lines. Like, I wonder if they could get that expensed by their work. Just be like,
Oh,
oh yeah,
yeah.
let's throw away that wand. Don't need it. Put magnets in my hands. It'll be great. I'll just go out and essentially douse.
Can you imagine someone comes out to your yard, you call 811, and there's definitely a presence here.
I feel it. Can't you? Here. And they take your hand and hold it under theirs. Like, can't you feel that?
Yeah, I've thought about getting those too. It's kind of cool, but again, I don't want to cut up my fingers.
Well, and my understanding is that the body starts to reject them after a couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you have to get them taken out after
Sure.
after a little bit.
Do they protrude? Like,
No, they're
can you
under
see-
the skin.
Okay.
Well,
But
I
like,
think,
there's not like a little bump.
There's
under
probably
your-
a little.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, but like it's not big magnets. Like, you put pretty thin magnets under your skin, and again, it's your nerves are so sensitive they can pick up those little movements. Is my understanding.
Nice.
Mhm.
So how do they reject? What happens?
Well, it's a foreign object in your body.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like if there was anything else in your body that shouldn't be there, your body. White cells attack it, and they're like, "Get out!"
Well, then cut my fingers off. Give me robot fingers with the magnet shit.
Okay, but you don't have all your nerves in there.
You don't know that.
Oh, I guess not.
This is a fantasy scenario, Rob.
Well, it wasn't until you took
Yeah.
it there. We were talking about something you could do today, Caleb. You could go out and get magnets.
Yeah, there's a guy driving around town right now in a van.
Instead of free candy on the van, it says free magnet.
I'd go to that van.
So it's kind of in a similar vein in terms of ethics. Is, you know, we talked about, does it stunt human ambition? But what are the ramifications if suddenly you can say, like, oh, getting this augmentation makes you X% better than an average human? Like, you have suddenly tangible metrics to say, I'm better than other people. You replace your legs with robotic legs, and you are suddenly better than 70% of the population at running or walking or whatever. Do we suddenly have another area of class stratification? Kind of what I was
Absolutely.
Yes.
kind of what I was joking about with the social status of having the prosthetics, but like to a serious degree that, like, oh, I have the best that you can get right now.
Mhm. I don't think the highest echelons of society will do it because, like, rich people don't even pierce their ears. So I feel like there will be a certain high status that's.
I suddenly imagine a Southern belle fanning herself on the deck of her plantation style home, saying like, "Oh, it would be most disrespectable to replace my limbs.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's not something that a gentlewoman would do."
Right. That would be something that workers do to produce more for the rich.
Ah.
So it'd be something to look down upon at some point.
Yes, but only for the highest echelons. I think for your regular, like, middle class people, there would be a race to get the best you could afford.
That it would be a status symbol up to a point, and then it becomes a social pariah situation.
Right.
Like, you're kind of like, oh, you have an enhancement? Like, oh,
You have an extra thumb?
Yeah.
Get out of my house.
you needed that to survive. You didn't have generational wealth.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you could get your tattoo to move, would you do it?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be so cool.
There would be nobody who has tattoos that wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
It would just be like a free-flowing art all over your body.
I mean, some people would have that. I think most people would have like a small tattoo, like a regular size tattoo, not a small tattoo, but they would get a regular tattoo that does something.
Right. Like, it's limited to that area.
Mhm.
But also, I find there would be some appeal and be like, yeah, I got a tattoo, and it may be only a few inches, but it has free reign over my body, and it just might, like, kind of show up. That'd be cool.
Man, yeah. Imagine if you had a sandworm that just appeared
Yeah.
somewhere in your body.
That'd be fucking
That'd
awesome.
be incredible.
Yeah. I don't care if it's unprofessional. It's badass,
Yeah.
Greg. Leave me alone.
For like confrontational purposes, have it go across your face.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So many. And you could probably program it so you could like have hotkeys somewhere and be like, yeah, I want to do this in this moment. So good.
Imagine it's like based on your mood. And like if you're agitated, like you just start flashing to warn off predators.
Yeah, we'd essentially all be octopi. Like, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Although, it's awesome until they start playing ads on your body.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because ads ruin everything.
Mm-hmm.
I can see the NordVPN going across
Yep.
your face right now.
Oh, actually, speaking of Caleb, as I unbutton my shirt, can you see sprawling across my chest, NordVPN?
It's just like what are those balloons at football games?
A blimp?
A blimp. There it is.
But yeah, there's a certain brand. What's the tire brand, though?
Goodyear?
Goodyear.
Goodyear. Yeah, the Goodyear
Yeah.
blimp. It's good, like a
Yeah.
Goodyear blimp. Just not even creatively, just
Yeah.
scrawling text across my chest. You got to read it slowly too, because you can only see so many characters.
Oh, man.
Nord
No.
VPN.
What would happen is if 3 people were in a room, it would go across all their bodies.
We're talking about networked tattoos.
Yeah, exactly.
now.
Well, yeah, how are they going to know what the click-through rate is?
Rob, why does your face say I'm loving it right now?
Oh, we're joking about this, but I'm thinking of a practical application. Imagine if you could get just text messages on your wrist.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be dope as
Like-
hell.
That I see some appeal there, and and then it's gone. Like then the ink moves and it goes somewhere else.
Yeah, I would absolutely have put my phone as a something in my body,
Yeah.
not connected to my brain,
Sure.
but I would absolutely put it
But
on
still
my
give
arm.
it agency upon your physical being.
Right.
That's totally fine.
Yeah. No, because like if it worked pretty much just like a phone, but just on my wrist,
Sure.
that'd be cool as hell. Because it's one less thing I have to carry.
But there's also a lack of privacy with your text messages coming in.
I mean, Caleb, have you not looked at something on your phone while you're with other people and you don't want them to see?
Yeah.
So what do you do with your phone in that moment?
So I'm just gonna hide my arm, like
yeah, just
Well,
kind of under the table or kind of like
Yeah,
up
where
close
it's-
to your chest.
it would just wiggle the magnet in your finger, and you say, "Oh, I have a message," and if you look at it, then it lights up.
seems too complicated. Like right now I can just hide my phone. But now I'm like digging my arm into the couch and trying to squint.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I imagine just bringing your other hand up against your wrist, be like, "Ooh, Caleb, what text did you get?"
It's that hot single.
Mm.
So what's the butterfly on my back? Can it just flap all over my body now?
If you want it to,
Yeah.
No, that'd be lovely.
that butterfly can be anything you want it to be, baby. But that's the thing is, I also like the idea of like you don't actually have to get a singular tattoo. If it's like, oh, you just inject my dermis with ink, and then that ink can do whatever I want it to do.
So would it be the epidermis or would it be the ink? Or is it a combination of both? Is this even possible?
I mean, it would have to.
I would say that it is technically possible to do it with today's technology.
Skeptic.
You would
I'm
have to have
skeptical
you'd have
over
to have
here, Rob.
something outside that like controls it.
Yeah.
But I would think you could do like an e-ink type situation. And if you have like a magnetic ink, I think you could get it to move enough.
Yeah.
I think it's technically possible. Not really feasible, but I think
Yeah.
it's technically possible.
Maybe. Because as I'm thinking about the particulars of executing this at a quick level, it's like it has to use the circulatory system. Like it would
Mhm.
need to go into your blood to move around the body and then like float
Well,
back
yeah,
up
I'm
into
not-
your skin.
Yeah, I'm not really saying like a full body thing. Like I'm saying like a tattoo that could change.
Oh, okay. Like you've got a patch in
Yeah.
a certain area on your body and that can move. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, not really the patch moves, just what's in the patch can change. You could
Sure.
like have a tattoo tomorrow, have a different one, have a tattoo today, have a different one tomorrow, and then the next day you have no tattoo.
Sure. Interesting.
Are we bringing this to Shark Tank? I think we have our idea.
Like many entrepreneurs, we have no idea how to implement it. We just have the idea.
I'm telling you, man, it's magnets. Caleb, I heard we got a comment on our Instagram.
Yeah. Mike commented on the Instagram post for the Superman episode. Caleb is a rock star for going on the defensive for this one. Great points all around, but you all missed the most obvious conclusion. Superman isn't boring. DC Comics are boring.
Oh,
except
yeah.
Constantine. That comic slaps. # Team Marvel.
I mean, you got no argument from here.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking about it as I was doing the editing, Caleb, kind of what we talked about, that DC is gods among men and Marvel is what if humans were elevated. And just, I find the latter more interesting, just overall.
You're wrong. Well, I responded to Mike in the post.
Oh, are you starting to start
We're-
like flame
we're
wars
fighting
on
in the
on our
comments.
behalf?
No, all I said was, Mike, with that opinion, I have such sights to show you. So maybe he'll take me up on that.
We should maybe just do a comic review episode.
Yeah.
Maybe you give us the 5 best DC comics you can think of, and Mike gives us the 5 best Marvel comics he can come up with, and we do a little review, little hash out.
I would love that.
Yeah.
All right,
That'd be awesome.
cool.
Well, listener, if you have any thoughts on this episode or any other episode, please give us a shout. You can reach us at strikesourfancy@gmail.com, at strikesourfancy on Instagram and TikTok, strikesourfancy on YouTube, and of course the Anchor, Spotify comment thing.
Tell us what you would do with your extra thumb.
Where are you gonna shove that extra thumb? I do want to know. I can think of a few places.
And best answer gets a visit from me.
This has been Strikes Our Fancy. As always, I'm still Rob.
I still got that tramp stamp, Caleb.
Augmented Craig.
Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you in a couple weeks.